So here would be step one of installing your Mitch's Custom Designs LP6 kit. First, I would suggest if you have a 1/4-20 tap, just tap these holes out from Baja. They can have some gunk in there. Clean them out. It's a good idea. Next, your kit is going to come with a piece of all thread with 2 nuts pre-installed. What we're going to do is screw in the all thread into one light as far as it'll go. Take a 7/16 open end wrench, grab that top nut. Let's give it a little snug. You don't need to go crazy. Now we'll take 2 7/16 wrenches, break that top nut loose, unscrew those 2 nuts. Now you have a stud out of your LP6. Now we're going to take the other light that hopefully you tap the holes out of, just to make your life easier. Line them up, and you're simply going to twist them together like so. And right at the end, you just want it snug, just like I did there. No, not too much pressure. And there you go. There you have your 2 LP6s mated together. Now for the next step, we're going to take our mated together LP6s and install them into your bracket. Your bracket is obviously going to be powder coated, nice looking. This was just my test one I ran on my bike. I took it out for obviously making this video. So we're going to take our LP6 setup here. It should just slide right in there between your mounting points. I like to get one bolt started there. We'll get a second one started on this side as well. And then we will also install the other 2. And there, that is what you should have when your lights are mounted. Now we will set the light angle. Now, this is the angle I've been using since I started riding around with this kit. You could obviously point them up more. I have it kind of pointed down. I've only gotten flashed a handful of times, so maybe that's where you guys might want it, maybe not. It's obviously easy to adjust. I'll give you where I had it. So the easiest way, in my mind, for you guys to set this at home, because you might not have an angle finder or all kinds of fancy gadgets, is take a tape measure. We're going to measure from this tab up to the seam right here where the light halves meet. It's going to be 2 3/4 inches. So we'll put our tape measure there. When it's all the way pointed down, you're about 3. So we'll angle it down to about 2 3/4, which is about right there. Now I would suggest verifying that this side is also the same, just because you could have a little bit of difference in the way that mounts. And then once you get it to your 2 3/4, go ahead and tighten down all 4 of your bolts, and then you're locked in. Now obviously once you do that, you still have access for your plugs in the backside. Hopefully you know how to get to this point. If you've bought this kit, you understand removing your fairing, removing the light. Also during that process, you may want to run your wiring harness, run your battery positive and negative back, and zip tie your harness up in here nice and tight. It will be covered and protected by the mounting plate that you purchased. Now, what we're going to want to do is, if you look up here, you'll see a little hole on each side of your amp rack. There's probably going to be one of those little Christmas tree clips that kind of holds part of this wiring harness up. Push that tree out of there, and we're going to utilize that hole. We're going to be mounting this adapter up in here like so. So now you're going to take your bolt. This is probably the most difficult part of this. Get it into that hole. Just like that. As you can see, you got a stud now sticking out up here. Now take your little adapter bracket. Keep a finger on the back side of that. And we're going to put our nut onto that stud. Now, as you can see, your adapter is mounted inside of your fairing. Like so. We'll take a 7/16 1/4-inch drive. Get up in there and tighten that down. When you do it, make sure that the bracket is pushed as far up as possible. And repeat on the other side. Now, before we put the bracket on, we already have our side mounts on each side. We're gonna take the factory wiring and take your custom dynamics adapter and plug that together. Then take your custom dynamics and plug that into whatever harness you ended up going with. I know I haven't come out with my harness yet. I'm working on it, I promise. And then you want to zip tie this up in here nicely, tucked up in this little pocket here in the center of the bike, while leaving your 2 Baja plugs and the turn signal connectors hanging down. I'm going to suggest just tucking them in the little pockets right here, just to keep them up there nice. So now we got wiring done, we got our side adapters on. So now we're going to take our Baja bracket with the lights and we're going to hold it up here and just plug your lights in through the access holes in the back, like so. I got a camera in front of me. It's kind of awkward, sorry. So we got our lights plugged in now. Now, simply take your bracket, excuse me, I left the lights loose. Hold it up there. Take one of your stock mounting bolts off of your stock light. Start it in your bottom hole over here. Take another one, bottom hole over here, screw it in by hand, just enough, and then your light bracket will sit like that. Now, before I go any further, what I suggest doing is taking your custom dynamics turn signal and plugging it in to your turn signal wires and making sure that you have the proper wire going to the proper side of the bike. Otherwise, when you hit left, it'll be a right side and vice versa. Do that now before you put it all together. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. So we verified that our wires are right. So now we're going to finish mounting our light. We got a 3/16 Allen. I just put it on my impact and reach up through here. Kind of run it in, don't tighten it all the way until I get the other side in. Get that one, ugga dugga, ugga dugga, ugga dugga, ugga. And that's basically your Baja kit right there as far as mounting the lights. So now, you know, we verified that the right turn signal wires to the proper side of the bike, that so now you know we verified that the proper turn signal wire is going to the right side of the bike, so that when you hit the left turn signal turns on. Also, our mounting brackets are mounted. So at this point, we're going to mount your custom dynamics turn signal into the bike itself as well. So what I suggest doing is taking your turn signal. Well, first we'll plug it in. Light plugged in. Tuck your wire behind the bracket here. That way you don't look down through your fairing holes and see that. Now what I'm doing here, I'll move the phone. You can see I got that started on the stud. So what I'm going to do is just roll that light forward so I can get my arm behind it. Start the nut by hand, run it in. Not tight, but just get it so that it's, you know, takes the play out. And we'll just take our bottom bolt and get that started. Make sure it's pretty much where you want it. It's really, there's not much slop to play with. It kind of is where it is, the way I made these. So give that one. Now I just give it a little ugga. Don't go crazy. Come up here, tighten that top up, and that's basically your Baja kit installed. And just rinse and repeat that for the other side as well.